Good evening, everyone. I wanted to welcome you to my course today, the Slash Your Debt, Get Organized. And today I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about some different ways that you can get organized to get ready for the 2023 year with all of your finances. This class is for you if you're looking to pay off your debt for good and you've been wanting to try some different methods. That You might have tried a few things in the past and they may not have worked. If you want more month at the end of your paycheck, we definitely can help you out with that. And you're also going to learn to, throughout the course of this, and when we get more in depth with the actual course that I have, you'll be able to keep about $500 or more in your bank account at any given point in time. And that's really important for a lot of people if they are somehow ending up with overdraft fees or just trying to pay off their debt and so forth. So today I'm going to go ahead and talk to you a lot about that because it's really a lot going on right now in the world. The cost of everything's going up. We've got so much mental weight on us about paying down our credit card. So hopefully after today, you will get inspired for the options that we have available. I do offer some classes, and I will talk about that at the end of the presentation here today. But what you're going to learn is basically what I'm going to talk to you about today is what you're going to learn in the class. So I'm going to tell you the whys of what things that need to happen when you are getting yourself organized and so forth. And then during those courses that I do teach, you're going to learn the how. So it's going to be real life experience. We're going to do some calculations and worksheets and good things like that. So I wanted to go ahead and get started, but let me share my screen really quickly here. My name is Nancy Ward, and I am a financial coach. Oh, go. So let me go ahead and I'm ready to share my screen. Got that together. Right. Gotta love technology, but we'll get there in just a quick second here. All right. So again, this is step one. So with step one is getting organized. And that's really the important thing is just like when you decide at the first of the year or any other time of the year, you want to say, hey, I want to lose some weight and so forth. But you have to kind of get yourself wrapped around the mindset, getting organized. Okay, got to start counting my calories, got to look at doing some exercising and so forth. So you have to get organized in order to start losing weight, just like if you wanted to lose some of your credit card debt. So that is why we're going to talk about our first step of getting organized. Again, my name is Nancy Ward. I'm a financial coach and debt reduction mentor. I have a Facebook group called Weekly Debt Plan. So if you are not a part of that group, I strongly suggest you write that down. Go ahead and log on to Facebook and look in the groups for Weekly Debt Plan. I give out a lot of different tips and tricks. I have an email newsletter with more in depth to the topics that I talk about in my Facebook group. But again, I want you to learn a little bit more and have more confidence in getting your debt together. Now, want to just let you know, be very transparent that we are not going to talk about budgeting at first. We are talking only about getting rid of your credit card debt. They do go hand in hand, but what I am doing is I'm teaching you how to get out of credit card debts and reduce those fees so you have that extra money to either budget towards other things or to pay off more and have more money. So it's different than, like I said, with having that budget. I created the weekly debt plan back in 2017. I was at a point in my life where I was getting some dental work done and I had missed a payment. I didn't get that monthly payment in for some reason. And I got that $25 fee. I called up the company right away. I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You know, life just happened. And they said, well, this is your first time. We'll go ahead and let that be. And I said, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And so forth. I said, no way. I don't ever want to pay these extra fees just because I'm not paying attention. So what I started to do is I made sure that I was sending in a check every single month. And I realized, wow, that's a pretty bigger chunk of money than I was expecting, especially depending on when my bills were coming in, when my bills were going out, my money was going out of my checking account and my paycheck was coming in. So I decided to take the balance of that, divide it by how many more weeks I had left that I owed before the percentage rate changed. It was like 0% for 6 months. And I said, okay, well, I'm sending in 35, 45, whatever the amount was at the time per week because I knew I could afford that. So I was able to get through that whole repayment of that credit card charge, the care credit, but I didn't have to pay any interest fees. So that really turned me around to say, wow, I'm onto something. And so ever since then, every week it's called Transfer Tuesdays. I'm always moving money, or I am I'm sending it to my credit card. So that's a little bit about me. The first step in getting yourself organized is having financial goals. So let's go back to what we talked about with work. Excuse me, with getting losing weight. You want to exercise, you want to eat healthier, you want to drink more water. You've got all these things, but you also have goals. Do you want to fit into that dress? Do you want to lose 15 pounds? Do you want to lose 2 inches around the waist? There's so many different ways that you can look at your goals, and that's the same thing with your financial goals. So we've got here vacations, auto, home, college. If you're looking to say, hey, the next step in my life is to go ahead and work towards buying a house, I need to have a down payment or some other different things that you need. You want to make sure that your finances are all together before you do so. If you've been out at the stores and they offer you a credit card and then you got denied, you're like, why am I getting denied for a credit card? All I want is, $2,000 from Lowe's or a store credit or whatever. And it might be because you have extended credit, you have a lot of late payments, your credit score is low. So, that might be where you say, hey, in order to go towards my financial goals, I need to repair or increase my credit score before I can do anything else. So those are some different things. You want to pay off your debt. You want to decrease your interest. Every time that you don't pay your credit card in full every single month, they're adding on interest fees. So if you look at your data from the beginning of this year, from 2022, you look at it and go, okay, my annual percentage rate APR is 10.99. Well, if you look at it from your last statement, it might be 15.99 because the federal government here in the United States has raised the rates. So what you were paying 10% more on in January, whatever wasn't paid off at the end of the month or the end of the billing cycle, is now 15%. So you're paying more money because you're not paying off your debt. So that's why it's really, really important to look at how you can pay off your credit card debt versus just looking at your budget, because budgets can change at a moment's notice. And we've seen that with gas prices and fuel prices during the course of the year. So I'm focusing more on your credit card debt. Plus also stability. That might be something that you want in your life. You want to not have to worry about those extra charges, overdrafts, things like that. Therefore, you want to have money, you want to be stable and not have to stress out so much. Part of our financial goals is what you'll learn is you'll have a current financial snapshot. You'll look at all of your accounts. How much do I owe? What about my mortgage? What about my car payment? Anything else that you have available that you have for uh, your debt, you're gonna mark that down because that's going to be your baseline. Just like saying, okay, my current weight is X amount. I know that I want to get to 30 pounds less. Well, how do you know what your progress is if you don't keep track? So that's the first thing that we'll do is we'll do a snapshot of where you are right now, and that's going to actually help you with what you want your financial goals to be. Credit scores, as I mentioned before, tracking it, increasing it. If you haven't had a credit report in a year, here in the United States, you can get a free credit report every single year from the federal government. I strongly suggest that you do it. Go through all 3 credit bureaus just to have that in your documentation, to look at it and to review it, make sure that everything is pristine. There might be something that's on there that somebody, took your name and put into a store credit card or something, and you wouldn't know about it unless you did a credit report. So that might be one of the reasons why your credit score is lower. So those are some things to take a look at. Credit cards and loans, same thing. As I mentioned before, you're part of the first part of this process is you're going to get your statements, whether you're going to download them, you're going to print them off, and so forth. I like to print them off because sometimes the internet just, after 6 months, a year, sometimes those statements go away. If you didn't download them, poof, they're gone. You have to go through a hassle in order to talk to your credit card companies in order to just get those documentations. So if you download it and you print it, you've got two different ways that you have it. Got some examples there as far as bins and boxes. Those are some different things that you can use. Filing cabinet, you can do file folders, any of those types of things, but keep that organized. Because what's going to happen in these courses that I teach you is we're going to take that information and put it into spreadsheets and documents, and we're going to crunch the numbers. And I'm going to teach you how. So if you're sitting there going, Nancy, I have no idea how to crunch numbers. I just, I get my bill, I pay it. I don't know how to analyze these numbers. Don't worry about it. That's why you're going through me. I am a financial coach. I am a number cruncher. I'm going to help you get everything that you need in order to get this solid and ready to go. Other things that you're going to look for, again, you're going to look for your APRs. That's one of the first few things that we're going to look at because we want to know how much your APRs are, which credit card to pay down first, and so forth. There's also financial apps that are out there. Some of them are free. Some of them do cost money. Again, depending on how serious you are, if you really want to take that investment. Right now, I think Simplify has a 50% off discount until I want to say end of the year. I don't know. I just signed up the other day. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to see how this works. But it was like $35 total for the whole year. Now, I also have used Quicken, and that is about $50 to $60 a year, but that also includes different add-ons such as business expenses, investments, and things like that. So again, depending on what you're comfortable with, I also have a free app called Mint. So that is there just to, it grabs all of these apps will grab your information online from credit cards. You could do some small number crunching because it's going to come back to you and say, hey, this is what you spent this month at Amazon, or this is how much you spent on groceries and things like that. So that's a great start, but I will teach you more in depth on how to separate that because guess what? I go to Kroger, which is a grocery store here. I go to Kroger for food, I go there for pharmacy, and I go there for fuel. It all gets lumped into groceries. So I have to go through and I have to separate that. So again, those are some other tips and tricks that you'll learn through my courses. So then you can really get an accurate number of how much you're spending on those categories. Due dates are important too. So once we get all of that data together, and again, if you're not a numbers person, don't worry about it. It's hopefully it'll be seamless for you that we'll be able to pick out all of the right numbers and so forth. But having your paydays on a calendar, having your due dates on a calendar is really, really important because then again, you know when money is coming in and when money is leaving. Because guess what? Your mortgage might be due on the 5th every single month, but you don't get paid on the 5th every single 2 weeks. There are some jobs that are out there, don't get me wrong. They do get paid twice a month, like the 10th and the 25th. But again, if there's a holiday, you might get paid on the 9th, you might get paid on the 11th, different things like that. So that's going to be a nice visual for you as well, so that you don't miss those payments. You don't overdraft and so forth, because that is one of the things you're spending money on that you don't need to be. So I'm going to help you eliminate those, or at least show you how you can, if as we grow into this plan here with you, that you're going to be able to avoid those in the future. So those are some different things. So I've given you a lot of great information, and I know you're thinking, wow, there's so much to do. Yes, there is. Because again, if you're going to go ahead and lose that weight, you might need to get some exercise clothes. And guess what? You probably don't have any that fit. Just saying, I'm in the same boat. If I wanted to go and lose weight and have a the spandex top and workout shorts and things like that, I wouldn't have it because I don't, if I've gained weight, I can't fit into the clothes that I used to. So that's the thing too, is that you need to take action. So whether it's starting to count calories, whether it's starting to look at your finances, look at your APR, calling up your credit cards. My gosh, I talked to somebody today and they're like, Nancy, I can't believe it. I called up my credit card company in order to ask them about some different things on my account. They offered me additional credit. They increased my credit line. And she said, this is going to be wonderful because now I have more available credit, and that's going to help me when I'm getting all of my numbers together when my husband and I go and we start looking at getting a mortgage. Fantastic. Those are the things that if you don't know what your numbers are, you can't make changes. And if you want to make changes, you got to take action. That's the important thing. Take action. You're going to set your goals. You want to get out of debt, don't you? Who doesn't want to get out of debt? Unless we're making millions of dollars a year, we all have some debt. Some of it's good debt, some of it's bad debt. I consider bad debt like your credit card and your variable amounts of money that you have to pay every single month. Your good debt is going to be your mortgage because you kind of can't get away from that. I have a 30-year mortgage. I know that it's going to take me obviously 30 years in order to, I just refinanced, so that's why it's 30. But I'm not going to put extra money into that because I'm going to put extra money into my credit cards because that's a higher percentage rate than my mortgage. So again, these are those little things that add up really, really quick. So I wanted to let you know about some class options that I have. And the first one is that if you're like, you know what, I am all in, I am doing this, I am getting my workout clothes, I am counting my calories, I am drinking my water, I am going to the thrift stores and picking up old weights or borrowing them from friends, or I'm going to start walking with my friends, I'm going to join the gym membership. You are all in because you have got a vision. You want this. What is your vision for your finances? Do you want to get out of debt? Do you want to stop all those overdrafts? What is your vision? Do you want to start saving money for college or a vacation? I saw, I don't know, about a month or so ago, somebody was talking about in one of the budgeting groups, how much do I need to save for a Disney vacation? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought it was expensive when I went with my kids 10 years ago. I can't even imagine how much it costs now. But to some people, that is their main goal. I want to go on this dream vacation, whether it's Disney, San Francisco, to Europe, no matter where it is. You've got a vision, you've got a goal, you got to save. You can't save if you don't look at your numbers. You don't know if you can afford it and things like that. You might be able to afford it and just haven't realized it yet. And I'm not here to tell you to stop drinking your Starbucks coffee. I am not that kind of person. But you are going to learn that there are some needs versus wants that you might have to change. So there is that. Okay. So if you are all in, you're like, Nancy, I want to do this. I want to be part of your course. I need help. I want direction. I want to organize my stuff. I'm going to set up a realistic debt payoff plan and I'm going to execute it. Because that's the thing. You could set all of these things up, but if you don't implement it and make those changes and look at your finances and maybe start setting in money every Tuesday, transfer Tuesday, sorry, every week or every paycheck, it's not going to work because you're going to continuously be in that same cycle of not having enough month at the end of your paycheck or the end of your money, more month at the end of your that phrase that people say. You're going to have you're going to create a clear financial goal instead of missing the target. So again, you want to lose that weight. You want to go on the vacation. You want to save for a car. You want to just get out of debt, whatever that is. We're going to have those clear financial goals. You're going to have the momentum because this is going to be a group setting where you're going to get some training, but we're also going to come together. I'm going to have some additional live training and you're going to get support from me. So that's fantastic that you're like, you know what, I need a little bit of that accountability, but just reminding me is good enough. So that works out for me. So, those types of small little things that are going to help motivate you. And then you're going to be in this exclusive Facebook group and you're going to be like, wow, Susie is really cranking it. She's like found a second job or, started selling stuff on eBay and you get inspired and you're like, yeah, 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 I'm going to do this too. And then you're the one that week that says, ta-da, I paid off my credit card bill. How are you going to feel? You are going to be feeling so proud and you're going to have a whole crowd full of other people going, yay to you, because we know how difficult that is. So I wanted to tell you about that. And the value of this class is $695 because you get all of the worksheets, you get all of the, the Facebook group and in all of the instructions that you get with it. But I want to tell you what else you get. You're going to get some additional bonuses. You're going to get a credit score tracker, a debt payoff calculator, a bill payment tracker, category spending management, savings options, additional tools. You're sitting there going, I've heard about these balance transfers. Nancy, how do we do it? Okay, well, we're going to have, a conversation about it, whether it's, in the Facebook group or I can go live and talk about it. I'm going to be answering those questions that you guys have that are pertinent to your business. I'm not going to name names unless you would like me to, but that's the thing is that everybody's learning from everybody else because there's somebody else that's sitting there thinking, yeah, I want to do the balance transfer. It always is 0% for a year, but how do I pay that off? Because it never works for me. Fear no more. I'm going to teach you how to do that. That's the exciting stuff. So you're going to get all of those extra bonuses. And I want to let you know that the value is $697, but the cost is only $397. And this is going to be at least a good 6 weeks. If you want to stay with it longer, because there's a Facebook group that's there, 6 weeks of instruction, but this Facebook group is going to stay open for accountability and monthly check-ins and things like that, because I want you guys to succeed. I know how difficult it is trying to figure out how are you going to pay off all of your bills. I've been in debt. I walked into my marriage with debt, walked out of my marriage with debt, was debt-free during the marriage, but you don't stay for the money. Yeah, life happens. And how is it that a single mom is able to pay off a $25,000 loan for her windows in her house? I did it because I had a plan. I had a vision. I had goals. I've also paid off plenty of other credit cards since my divorce. I've been divorced only 7 years. And I was a stay-at-home mom. How is that even possible? I go from a stay-at-home mom to, finally I got some full-time jobs, but I was able to do it because I had a system. So if you're interested in this course, at the bottom of the page there, it's weeklydebtplan.com/full course. And that is going to start at I believe at the end of January. Because again, you've got a lot of things to do. We'll get you a whole bunch of worksheets ahead of time so you can start planning and doing some organizing so you're ready to go. Now, you might be thinking, Nancy, that's great. That's a lot of work. I'm not sure if I'm ready for it. Well, I've got an option 2 for you. It's just doing step 1. You're like, what? No, seriously. It's just step 1. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get you organized and we're going to develop the debt payoff plan. Now, at that point, once you have your debt payoff plan, it's going to be your responsibility to implement it, to double check in with yourself, to make sure that it's working for you. There won't be accountability. There won't be the Facebook group because this is just helping you get to your debt payoff plan and making it work for you. So you'll be able to figure out, you'll learn the same things that everybody's learning in that same class about what, the APRs and which one am I going to pay off first and so forth. But that's if you're looking for something simple, this is what you got. So with this, you also get the credit score tracker and the debt payoff plan calculator. It's a lower price because you get lower value. It's $47. Which I consider as an absolute bargain, especially when you're thinking, how do I get my finances together? I can't crunch the numbers. I don't know what to do. How can I get this? But once I get it, I'm off and running. You know, you don't have to worry about getting that personal trainer or going to the gym because you figured out a system. You're counting your own calories and you're doing some walks every single night, and you just needed that extra small push. That push to say, you got this. Take action. You can do this. So if you're interested in that one, that's also at weeklydebtplan.com/design a debt plan. And the third option is if you say, you know what, Nancy, it's either you got everything together or you have nothing together. I have one-on-one coaching. So if you come to me and say, Nancy, I've been doing this for the last 2 years. I know I've got it, but there's just something missing. Can I just get a few hours of your time one-on-one to go personally over my debt payoff plan? What am I missing? I know I'm there, but I'm just missing something. I'm there for you. I can definitely help you out. If you come to me and say, you know what, Nancy, I have no idea. I printed off my last 3 month statements. Here you go. Please crunch the numbers for me. I can do that as well. So that's why the price is customized, because it depends on what your needs are. But you have those other options too, that you can work with me one-on-one just to get yourself together, get those workout clothes on, and start working out. So it's funny that I mention it with working out, but again, it does make sense. Is that you have it getting out of debt is not an instant quick fix, just like losing weight. You got to put effort into it. You got to have action. You got to have dedication. That's what you need to do. But I really offer you. So if you have any questions, I would love to answer them for you. Like I said, I do have a group that's called Weekly Debt Plan. There is my email address right there. But also, too, if you're looking at some of the classes that we talked about today, you can go to my Linktree website, my link, and look at the different options that we have. I also have a budgeting and debt reduction workbook that I designed earlier this year. It's kind of like a self-paced course, except for it's a workbook. So then that gives you the options in order to look at your numbers and see how much you're spending and so forth. So there's a little bit of debt payoff, but it's mostly focused on looking at your debts and then looking at what you're spending. So it really dives deeper into those categories. So going back to what I mentioned about going to Kroger, you know, if you really want to be specific, start writing down every time that you buy laundry detergent or paper supplies. That is where you can cut that down as well and look at how much am I spending on those specific categories. Even though I buy them at the grocery store or Costco or wherever, you know, just like Amazon, it shows up on my credit card statement as shopping. So you know that I have to go in and I have to change that category because it's more than just shopping. It might be clothes, it might be gifts, you know, whatever. Because I know a lot of us have spent money on Amazon just over this holidays. So I'm going to go ahead and stop share, and just wanted to see if there was any questions at this point in time, and see, you know, again, I love what I do. You can see my passion because I have been there. I know that it's a challenge in order to get your debt under control and manage your everyday bills. Because guess what? That mortgage still needs to come out of your bank account. You can't really put that on the credit card. And if you do, it there's a lot more to think about what's going on if you're having to put the mortgage on the credit card. So I encourage you to again take a look at my websites, take a look at the links, see if those classes are right for you. We're looking at starting those in January because I find that a lot of people don't even look at their credit card debt or anything like that until after the holidays and when their first bill comes through and they need to make a change because they're got to, you know, they need to make changes for what's out there and so forth. But again, I thank you so much for attending today. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me via Facebook. You can do so through my Weekly Debt Plan Facebook group, or you can go to the Weekly Debt Plan business page and contact me that way. I look forward to working with you soon. Thank you so much, and you have a great night. Bye-bye.